of the series, and John Smoltz, who has been a money pitcher for the Braves in postseasons past.
For hot, Bobby Cox pushed John Smoltz back to game 4. And Smoltz took a couple of days to recover from the disappointment, but he says that's all behind him. But he does have controlled trouble early on as he walks Lenny Dykstra on 4 pitches. Bounce down to first. Tricky hop, but McGriff stayed with it. And they eliminate Dykstra. The play goes 3-6. McGriff to Blauser. 1 out, and now Morandini is aboard at first. Of course, next year he'll be in the same division with the Atlanta Braves under realignment. Both the Phillies and Braves will be in the National League East next year. Kruk strikes out. Chased the ball out of the strike zone. A high fastball from Smoltz for the second out of the inning and the first strikeout of the night for Smoltz. Leo said that was strike 3. Now the payoff pitch, and that is strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Smoltz to end the inning. After a half inning, the Phillies nothing, and the Braves coming up.
Danny Jackson is a completely different type of pitcher than John Smoltz.
From San Antonio, Texas. Makes his home now in the Kansas City area, and Nixon is called out on strikes. He got caught looking at the Jackson fastball.
Fouling balls the other way off a power pitcher as they're doing Danny Jackson.
Broken bat pop-up could be a problem. Morandini, a nice running play. He had a long way to go toward the line and made the tumbling catch for the second out of the inning. Over the first 3 games, all 3 of those RBIs with 1 hit, a bases loaded double. Morandini will have an easier time of it this time. And the Braves go in order in the first. After 1 in Atlanta, no score. Smoltz back quickly with the 3-1, and there's ball 4. So for the second time in as many innings, Smoltz has walked the leadoff hitter.
Yeah, the Phillies and Braves had played 28 innings.
For Philadelphia, and has more speed. Fergosi thinks he gets more offense with the other lineup with Incaviglia and Chamberlain in there. Double play ball, and Eisenreich beat the throw to first. Dalton did a good job taking out Blauser, and it was hit slowly enough to allow Eisenreich to beat it. He runs pretty well.
So if they do throw the breaking ball, then you do have a center fielder fleet enough to track down the mistakes.
Eisenreich runs. Gant is playing on top of the line, so he makes the running catch in the bullpen. Eisenreich a little bit slow, realizing that Gant caught it, but he's back to first safely with 2 outs.
Well, Eisenreich went for the decoy then on a foul ball.
Back into the National League. And he gets Stucker to end the second. After an inning and a half in Atlanta, no score. The ball game. And he did not pitch again in the series that went 7. In the hole, base hit. Fred McGriff, a bounding ball single just past the dive of Mickey Morandini, and that's the first hit of the ball game. Fly ball to left. Milt Thompson has room. 1 out. Danny Jackson with his appearance tonight for the Phillies. Flashes the signs for Justice and McGriff. No score, bottom of the second. 1 out and McGriff at first. And the 0-1 to Justice. A bounding ball and a base hit. McGriff will stop at second as Eisenreich got to it quickly. And David Justice has his second hit of the NLCS. 5 during the regular season. To shallow center. And Dykstra made the catch. Then he appeared to have a tough time judging the ball for a couple of seconds.
Location to the hitter.
A bullet by Lemke and a fair ball down the left field line. McGriff comes around to score. Justice will be stopped at third. It's a double for Mark Lemke and a 1-0 Atlanta lead. Strike three. Smoltz thought it was ball 4 and started toward first, but Jackson has his second strikeout of the night. 1 run for Atlanta in the second. A philosophy Smoltz undoubtedly employs from time to time on the golf course. John Smoltz is a 4 handicap golfer. Jackson whiffs, 4th strikeout for Smoltz. A ball and a strike on Dykstra. Mickey Morandini is on deck. 1-0 Atlanta in the top of the 3rd. Sharp ground ball and a base hit. Dykstra has his 4th hit of the series. A 1-out single to right here in the 3rd.
Second baseman one that they could not stand toe-to-toe with the Braves and expect to win.
Morandini off the foot of Smoltz. It caromed into foul ground. Smoltz appears to be fine. He's not limping as he chased it into foul territory. It's a hit for Morandini. Dykstra to second on the play. 1st and 2nd and 1 out. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 men on with 1 out. 1-0 Atlanta in the 3rd. And Kruk goes down swinging again, this time on the breaking ball. 2 strikeouts in the inning and 5 already for John Smoltz. The Phillies could desperately use a big hit to ignite their offense. They won't get it from Hollins. 3 strikeouts in the inning for Smoltz. And the Phillies have already stranded 4. 1-0 Atlanta after 2.5. That Deion Sanders will be the starting center fielder next year. Otis has his home in the Atlanta area, has a business here. He'd like to stay. He's out. On the bouncing ball to short. At the conclusion of tonight's game, Tim McCarver and I will select the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the and they'll barbecue late into the night, have a couple of beverages, and watch the Celtics on TV. Lauser walks. We told you about that memorable moment. Sid Bream, the most memorable moment in Atlanta baseball history. A double play ball booted, but fortunately for Stalker, he kicked it in the direction of Morandini. So they got the 1 out at second on Jeff Blauser. And there's another play that won't go into the books as an error.
Darren appears to be all right.
The 2-2 with Gant running is ball 3. Dalton's throw, a good one, and Gant is caught stealing. Braves still have not stolen a base in this series and will return to Atlanta Fulton County Stadium after this message. And Ron Gant had been 11 for 11 in stolen bases in his career in the postseason. Prior to the caught stealing moments ago, Lemke didn't get it there in time, and that will likely be the first Atlanta error of this league championship series. The last pitch to Eisenreich, 89 miles per hour. The 1-2. Well hit to left, but right at Gant. That will bring up Milt Thompson. Here's Drabek's. Bounce down the line. That's a fair ball. Heading toward the bullpen. A long run for Justice to get to it. Dalton is being waved around. Now stopped at the last moment, and Thompson has run up his back. They get away with it. Larry Bowa with a very late stop sign, and Dalton really struggled to put on the brakes. He was a long way around third. He is way up on the bat handle now. The 2-2 pitch. In the air to left. Dalton is tagging. Gant the catch. And Dalton scores. Philadelphia has tied the game at 1. The sacrifice fly for Kevin Stalker, his first ever postseason RBI. Well hit, base hit. Thompson will come around to score. And the Phillies take a 2-1 lead on a single by the pitcher, Danny Jackson. You saw his first time up. Jackson never had a hit.
Their hands are dirty, the balls are dirty, and they're tougher to see.
Bounced into right field. Jackson had to hold up to avoid being hit by the ball. So Jim Fregosi said before the game tonight, we need Lenny Dykstra to get it going, and he that the media in this area and the fans seem to want to find things that are wrong with the team or with the individual players. We'll talk more about that later as Morandini lifts a pop-up. Caught by Nixon to end the inning. 2 unearned runs for Philadelphia in the 4th. And after 3.5, the Phillies now lead 2-1. Have we seen a graphic like that come up in this series with Fred McGriff hitting less than .350 against anyone? It's a towering fly to center. And Dykstra made the catch relatively awkwardly. Either that or it's a new wrinkle on the Ricky Henderson, Barry Bonds.
And Gannon, Justice 4 and 5, somewhere in there.
Pendleton rips one to left on the dead run. Thompson, and it's over his head. Pendleton on his way to second, and the throw is just late. A one-out stand-up double for Terry Pendleton, his 7th hit in 4 games in this series. Well, despite injuring his lower abdominal muscles, diving for that game-winning hit by Kim Batiste in Game 1. Justice, a little pop-up. Hollins has to hurry, but he's there, and he makes the catch. Pendleton went back to tag, but he won't try it, as Jackson alertly covered third. Frozen by the fastball. 3rd strikeout and a big one for Danny Jackson. After 4, 2-1 Philadelphia. 76 pitches to get through the first 4 innings. Well, President Carter goes for the hat trick, striking out for the 3rd time. Talked about coming here to watch minor league baseball, and he probably would recognize have combined to go for 5 with 5 strikeouts. 5 of the 7 Ks. For Smoltz at their expense, and there's a sinking line drive that falls in front of Justice. So Hollins has a hit. It's the 6th for Philadelphia.
And is more inclined to swing at a ball out of the strike zone in this situation.
Ball 4. So Dalton walks for the 2nd time. Tommy Green, Terry Mulholland watching from the top step as season. Eisenreich has reached on a fielder's choice and line to left. That's a bouncing ball that eats up McGriff, but he kicked it toward the bag and stepped on the bag just ahead of the arriving Eisenreich for the 2nd out of the inning. The runners move up, and now there are 2 in scoring position, hoping that Smoltz will record his 8th strikeout of the night and get out of the jam. A 1-2 pitch. He struck him out. The Phillies strand 2 in scoring position. They've left 8 men on halfway through the ball game. 2-1 Philadelphia. Smoltz is scheduled to bat next, and he is out in the on-deck circle. The 1-1 to Lemke. In the hole, Hollins cut it off and threw him out. Lemke now 1 for 2. He doubled to drive in the Atlanta run back in the 2nd.
He was a Union officer, and that led to a Union victory. And speaking of high ground, I'm sure John Smoltz and Danny Jackson know the value of high ground too. And that's that pitcher's mound right there, 10 inches high, lowered from 15 inches back in 1969.
True, just higher than where they wind up. Nixon is struck out and bounced to short. He slaps one that's dropping quickly. Dykstra can't get it. Smoltz had to hold up to see if Lenny would catch it. So he went to second. That walk to Smoltz could prove to be a big play, as Jackson walked the pitcher with 1 out for Atlanta. Blauser has popped out and walked. And Jeff lifts a fly ball to medium range left. Thompson the catch for the 2nd out. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 men on. 2-1 Philadelphia in the 5th. He struck him out. Danny Jackson with the breaking ball rings up his 4th strikeout of the night. Danny Jackson will bat next, and then Lenny Dykstra. Routine fly to left. 1 out. And we hope you'll be with us tomorrow afternoon. It is certainly getting chilly. And Jackson strikes out. And on the subject of strikeouts, we take you back to game 1. And Quick came out in front of the plate and dusted it off and had some words with Greg Olson. As you watch the replay, no argument on that pitch. So Smoltz will not work his first 1-2-3 inning in the 6th. It's the 4th walk he has thrown. And the 2nd time he has walked Dykstra, who's been on base 4 times tonight. Dykstra is not running. Morandini, base hit. And Dykstra rounds second and puts the brakes on. So the Phillies try to put something together with 2 outs. And bear in mind, John Smoltz inside and outside. They've used both sides of the plate with Kruk, but mostly inside. They left out over the plate, and he bounced it down to first. The Phillies have stranded 10. We'll return to Atlanta Fulton County Stadium after this message and a word from your local station. Fred McGriff has scored the only run Jackson has allowed tonight. That was back in the 2nd. That's well hit toward the gap in right center. Dykstra will have to play it off the wall, and Fred McGriff has a leadoff double. He's 2 for 3 tonight. Right to first. Pendleton trying to get it to the right side, hit a bullet. But fortunately for Philadelphia, the ball was right at John Kruk for the Berry family. David, an all-star, and Halle Berry is a terrific actress. The 2-1. Well hit right field, but it'll stay in the yard for Eisenreich. 2 down. McGriff tags and moves to third.
It's forward.
And if he wants the pitcher to stay in, he'll tell Fregosi that he's thrown fewer pitches than he actually has. Fly ball to right. Eisenreich the catch, and now the Braves are stranding runners all over the lot. They've left 7 after 6. 2-1 Philadelphia. Holland strikes out for the 3rd time, and that's 10 strikeouts for Smoltz. It's the first time ever that a Brave pitcher has struck out 10 in a postseason game. Inning and gave up 16 runs. That's ball 4 outside. Braves fans might remember that last year John Smoltz won only 1 of his last 7 decisions, and then went into the playoffs against Pittsburgh. Has joined Merker. Well hit, base hit. Jim Eisenreich with his first hit ever at the expense of Smoltz. Dalton to second. And the Phillies mount yet another threat. They've had runners all over the bases tonight, but they've managed to score in only the 4th inning. Ken Merker appeared in 43 games, including 6 starts during the regular season for Atlanta. Not have an extra base hit after August 25th. Hasn't had a home run since July 24th. Slowly to short. Blauser to Lemke, and that's all they'll get. They erase Eisenreich. Dalton to third on the play. Thompson safe at first on the fielder's choice with 2 outs. Down the right field line. Justice, a long run, and he makes the sliding catch. The Phillies leave 2 more. They've stranded 12.
Ball get by you to your right in fair territory.
Hammered up the middle, a base hit. So Cabrera, disappointed in himself as a pinch hitter during the regular season, comes through with a big playoff pinch hit, and Deion Sanders comes on to run for him. He squares to bunt. Bunted it toward first. The play booted by Kruk. Out at first. Very close play. And the Braves will argue. Bobby Cox and Nixon and Pat Corrales will all have had their say by the time this is over.
But this is the thing. There is no need to look at second base if you're the fielder. Watch John Kruk, however slightly, look at second, and he lost the ball in the process. Whenever a team is bunting to tie, then you go ahead and make the play to first base. But Otis Nixon was safe at first.
Clearly safe. You can see he has the foot on the bag and the other one past the bag. And Blauser's had plenty of success against him. In the hole, Stalker with a long throw. Outstanding play under pressure by Stalker. And the fans continue to boo Jerry Crawford.
Good base running by Deion Sanders also.
The 2-2. Breaking ball to strike him out. Fifth strikeout for Jackson. 4 of them have ended an inning. End of 7, 2-1 Phillies. Against the new pitcher Mark Wohlers.
Mark Wohlers, Bobby Cox telling us before the game, can throw as hard as Dibble.
Count on Jackson. Dykstra on deck. Then Morandini in the 8th with the Phillies leading 2-1. And Jackson strikes out for the 3rd time, and he walks away as if he could care less. His important task is to record 6 more outs.
You know what I think he was doing? I think he was taking a 3-2 pitch.
And he tried to check his swing on a ball in the dirt and could not. So they retired Dykstra for the first time tonight, and Wohlers has back-to-back strikeouts to open the 8th. The 0-2 pitch. Wohlers strikes out the side in the 8th. On to the bottom of the 8th. McGriff, Pendleton, and Justice coming up. 2-1 Philadelphia. 2-2 on McGriff. Pendleton to follow, then Justice. Check swing, strike 3. McGriff goes down swinging. 6 strikeouts for Danny Jackson. Bobby Cox clearly didn't like McGriff being rung up. Strike 3. Pendleton right at the shortstop. Stalker. 2 away. Pendleton now 1 for 4. Try to make sure that this series will return to Philadelphia. Justice for the base hit. Jackson had retired 5 in a row before that single by Justice. He's 2 for 4 tonight. So once again, Justice held on by Kruk. And Berriel has a hit. So the tying run is at second. The go-ahead run at first. The Braves threaten with 2 outs in the 8th inning, trailing 2-1. They call Mitch Williams Wild Thing for a reason. Jim Fregosi talked about watching Mitch pitch. So many times in the last 3 years, he's come to the plate in the big spot. Fly ball to left. Thompson still going back at the wall. Great leaping catch. What a play by Milt Thompson.
Remember, Jim Fregosi left Thompson in to hit against the left-hander Merker for that reason.
Kruk, Collins, and Dalton against Wohlers. And that's a first. 4 strikeouts in a game by John Kruk. And Wohlers has fanned all 4 men he has faced tonight. Atlanta pitchers.
It's in baseball.
He tried to throw that one 199 miles per hour, and he walked Hollins with 1 out. It's the 6th walk. The Phillies lead 2-1. They're looking for a pad run or 2 in the top of the 9th. That wasn't close. And that gets them stirring in the Atlanta bullpen. And it brings Leo Mazzoni to the mound. 2-1 Philadelphia. In the 9th inning of Game 4, the Phillies need a win to draw even in the series. And Eisenreich strikes out. There Every out recorded by Wohler since he entered the ball game has been with the strikeout. The 2-2 pitch. Chopped towards second. Nice hop for Lemke. And perhaps in this ball game, it's only fitting that the Phillies leave the bases loaded in the ninth. They've stranded 15. Bottom of the ninth, still only 2-1 Phillies.
And I think it's particularly important to play a guy like Pacoda on the line, or any right-hander for that matter.
Broken bat looper. And it falls.
Base, they try to get a reaction out of the hitter. Sometimes they'll step off to do that.
He turns the bunt, bunted it off the plate. Williams bare hands and drops it. No play. Mound, you can see Fregosi trying to calm him down. The 1-1 pitch. Bunted and a good one. Williams looks at third. He made the play at third. Kim Batiste, an excellent stretch, reaching into foul ground. And the Phillies and Mitch Williams cut down the lead runner at third for the first out of the inning.
Again, anyway.
And 0 for 6 in his career against Williams. Up the middle right of Morandini. Steps on the bag for one. This series is even at 2 wins apiece.